Hello, everybody, and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns, broadcasting the Link to the Past Randomizer Challenge Cup 2022. We got brackets round 2 for you today. It's smercjd versus prieR57. It's their game 1. Commentating for us, we have Iwala Koala and James FNX, and tracking for us is Adalor. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Ricky. Hey, James.
Oh, you want to actually talk about the game? We got, we got smercjd and prieR57. We're playing tournament keys, so the open key sanity mode with the Ganon's Tower big key somewhere in the basement of Ganon's Tower, and those Aghanim Tower small keys are just sitting in Aghanim's Tower, so you're not having to hunt for those if it is an Aghanim seat.
Yep. A lot more checks that are going to be probably seen. Not a lot of skipping you want to do in a key sanity game because you never know what thing you might leave behind or who knows what. So I expect to see a lot more cautious play from these two runners. And knowing both of them, we are in the round of 32. So every match very important. This is game 1, so of course neither one wants to lose the first one, but it should be very exciting to see how these two play out. Smirk was in fact a group member of mine in the group stages, so I have a little bit of experience knowing how he plays.
Yeah, Smirk, one of the newer runners of the scene. I think he was in the mentor tournament last year. prieR, a longtime veteran. To get things kicked off, both runners starting at Link's house. We find a hammer to start things off today.
Hammer's an exciting start. Very useful item. Make a very easy dark world routing once we get access to that.
Interested to see if anyone decides to stick it out and go into the front of escape here with this hammer.
Oh, and guards are in the bomb pack, which is very useful. Getting that first single bomb.
Yeah, I expect both these runners to kill all of these guards in here and try and get some more bomb drops. prieR getting another one. That's good times.
Cole's got our Thieves small key, which goes very well with that hammer we just found.
It does. Doesn't do anything until we find that Thieves Town big, but a nice one to have if you already have the hammer. You won't be leaving an item behind once we do find that big key.
Both runners choosing to exit Uncle drop. I would imagine going straight into the castle with that hammer then.
Thought we might see, one of our runners trying to see what the tier 2 tree pull is there, but both runners just gonna head directly into the castle. Seven bombs should be plenty for prieR. Smirk up to 2. Probably farm a little bit harder.
Smirk getting the not as much good drop rates from the guards as prieR was.
Yeah, unfortunately this isn't standard where the drop rates are, at least in escape, or standardized between runners, but showing a little bit of that RNG luck. prieR getting 2 more drops than Smirk so far.
Both runners choosing to continue onward. After that first check here, without the High Castle small key, these 2 checks are not in logic. So we could see some early sequence broken items. I don't think our runners are going to be too worried about playing out of logic. But who knows, it could make a factor.
If you find something in one of these 2 chests, then you have to sort of think about where that key might be. But just a hard container so far. Boomerang chest, more check in here. I can't imagine either runners are going to continue on to Dark Cross with just a hammer. But possibly. Don't know.
Not the easiest thing, but it's possible.
We're getting that 4 bomb pack and evening up. 3 more bombs than Zelda sells, so nothing locked behind. Well, for now, nothing locked behind that Hyrule Castle small key.
But at least both runners sitting nice, comfortable at 10 bombs. I won't have to worry too much about that.
Sanctuary, that's nice to have before Kakariko, along with the money in the wells. We'll be able to pay off Bottle Vendor. We got plenty of bombs, so no need to worry about buying them. All set up for Kakariko run here. Looks like both runners are going to give us a look at Lumberjack as well, as our Tier 2 tree pole is full magic.
I'm just having some hearts, so some useful items. Lumberjack with just a compass today.
Yeah, not gonna worry about that. And we're off to Lost Woods, a couple checks in here, and then the big mountain Kakariko coming up. I think that having those Aghanim's Tower small keys in Aghanim's Tower kind of makes runners want to do that Lumberjack check a little bit more than you would in just a normal Key Sanity seed.
Possibly. Some like to defer until they get boots because they know they can't get that in without that. So, but speaking of which, there's a lamp, so Aga is that much closer to being available.
Yeah, no dark rooms today. We also found a small key to Trick or Rock.
And so now it's off to Kakariko.
Yeah, that early bomb luck prieR a little faster into Kakariko than Smirk.
Bottle comes out, will make rounding out Sick Kid a nice finishing off check for Kakariko. Hyrule Castle map, pretty much useless in Key Sanity, along with the Ganon's Tower map. Not one that's going to give our runners any info that they won't already know.
First checks here in Kakariko, a bit of a bust, but still lots to do. We got 5 more in the wells. Bottle Vendor, Sick Kid, Chicken Hut. Lots of stuff here. Lots of chances for items.
Oh, and there's our boots. It turns out checking Aga early would have been useful had something been there.
Yeah, with lamp and boots already. We're just we're very close to and a cape. We're just a sword away. Swords and a moon pearl away.
Can you smell Aghanim's Tower from here?
That's been kind of the theme of this mode in the tournament so far, in both the tournaments, is that there's a lot greater chance of having Aghanim be required because those keys aren't randomized.
Although it's funny, in old days with Key Sanity, you would just get 2 Castle Tower small keys in Kakariko and think, well, I'm going to go to Aga, I guess. Now it's just find the extra pieces, and it's like, well, I'm going to Aga, I guess.
Exactly. Another bottle, another Turok small key. Not a lot of stuff in Kakariko. Sorry, we got those boots. We got a cape and Burna, so lots of safety. But not a lot of immediate progression here.
prieR is going south. I wonder if he's going to turn back towards Bonk Rocks. Or if he's going to come back to that later. There's a small key on the library. Handy boots can get us that right now.
GT small. GT smalls are more important in this than they would be in regular Key Sanity, because we know that big key is locked somewhere in the basement. I like this from prieR, this blind checker maze race. We didn't find a ton of stuff in Kakariko, and there's more likelihood that there's something, at least like a small key or something on the race game. I like blind checking this. It's just 20 rupees. Gonna pick it up anyways.
Yeah, might as well.
Smirk passing out on those 20 rupees, and it's gonna head down to the South Shore. Both the runners are gonna head down that direction.
There's our sword. So, Aghanim's tower is clearable.
It's clearable. We don't have the Moon Pearl yet, so not a lot of incentive to hop in there right now. But sword. We've got all the signposts for Aghanim's tower to be our next point of progression.
You got to be thinking if you're one of these runners, okay, I just got all 3 pieces I need. I'm minus a Moon Pearl, but that could always be on the pyramid.
Fresh threads here, and Smirk gonna head over, take a look at Agina's cave and the ledge. Meanwhile, prieR's gonna head right and head over to Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, Smirk playing for the safety, like not wanting to skip this, prieR playing for the item density locations. Either way is pretty valid, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with either one of these philosophies. I kind of like checking Agina here, and then you got those boots where we find bombos, which is a nice find for clearing out enemies. Might be required medallion, or might be required for getting into Ice Palace. So a lot of utility in that item, but nothing immediate out of it. But I do like
not checking the ledge. So there's one item he's not knowing about.
Oh, I don't hate that. You're gonna have to come back at some point anyways and take a look at that. Hopefully with a flute, make it faster. I do like the utility of just going over and checking Agina. These 2 locations in the corners, Agina and Ice Rod Cave, are kind of, if something's there, it's very easy for something to be there, and it's also very punishing if you choose to skip out on that location and something's there.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately paying off this bombos. It's going to clear out these mini Moldorms fairly quickly. Both of our corner locations having some hot items. A fire rod sitting in Ice Rod Cave.
That's not thematically appropriate, but you know what? Close enough, I guess.
Close enough. We also saw both runners pick up Samaria in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Mm-hmm.
And prieR setting up a water walk, but also going to do a fake flipper. So going to try and preserve this water walk so we can check both under the bridge and the waterfall cave.
And Smirk right on his footsteps as well, not too far behind, having already done Agina. So our fire was not very hidden this seed. It wanted to be known.
No, we've gotten all of our pieces of fire now. Lamp, fire rod, and bombos. Under the bridge is our Hyrule Castle small key. We know that didn't lock anything in the front, but we have a lamp. So the items in the back escape could see a glove there very easily.
Yeah, all we'll know is that we won't find flippers back there. Unless we also happen to get a glove, in which case they could even be in the back. And both runners getting the unfortunate refill, which will break their water walking state. And yeah, we'll have to come back later for that second chest. So that's awkward.
Yeah, prieR's going to continue on, take a look at what's on Zora Ledge, knowing that small key for Hyrule Castle is flipper locked. Could be good information if something else is flipper locked there, but it's just a heart container. And both these runners making the best play in their seat right now, as with that Hyrule Castle small key, prieR is going to head to the back, escape. Smirk can head over to the Eastern Palace area, get these 3 items, and take a look at 4 more.
And we'll have a quick chat with Saha saying the green pennant is in Ice Palace today, of which we have both big fires for it. There's our Moon Pearl. If you're a Smirk, you're thinking, okay, I could do like Eastern for 3 in logic items. Well, 4, sorry, with the lamp now. But he has all the pieces for Aga. I could definitely see a quick Aga from here.
Yeah, I think I would have taken a look at the Eastern Palace before hopping into Agham's Tower. Don't have anything to get too far around the world. We don't have a way into Village Outcasts, Skull Woods area as of yet. Can get over to Pod and can get down to Hype Cave, but I might have wanted to look for something more before doing this. But Smirk is going to make his play into Agham's Tower.
He is going to get Dark Cross first, which I can applaud that. It is in logic with the lamp.
Yep. And in the back of Escape, we found this big key for Ice Palace, big key for Mire. Small key for Turtle Rock, number 3, but nothing else. Deathwarp for Smirk as prieR heads over to the eastern area. We'll pick up that Moon Pearl. See if now that he's cleaned out the castle, a lot more incentive to continue on to eastern for prieR.
So he could make the same play that Smirk did and seize the Pearl and pieces out, going right back to the castle, but I'm not sure. It looks like he is going to head back towards Eastern Palace.
Yeah, we're talking about being thorough in a Kisane seat earlier, and Smirk has kind of gone back and forth in aggression. Was very conservative, making the Agina play, but this this tower climb before even checking Eastern Palace is a fairly aggressive play. Could find a glove here in Eastern Palace and make all of this move.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of Turtle Rock keys already.
Hannah Samaria and Fire Rod. I feel like we're going to see some Turtle Rock today.
I feel like we're going to have a lot of items hanging out in Laser Bridge. Second medallion, Ether medallion in our second check in Eastern Palace.
I wonder if prieR was thinking, okay, I've got a Pearl, I've got a Hammer, I'm just, technically I could do Aga now, but I also might not have to if I find a glove here. I wonder if that's what he's thinking.
Yeah. You do get a fair amount of access going into the Dark World once Smirk gets done with this tower, but there's a lot more you can do if you find several different things. If you find a mirror, you can get a couple more checks out of the way. If we find these flippers, that won't do a lot by itself, but could potentially open up the west side of the Dark World of, say, hook shots in Palace of Darkness or something. I think there's a lot of reasons to do these 4 checks that prieR is doing before heading up the tower.
And just a map for Hera in big key chest, so prieR is likely going to get funneled into Aga Tower as well.
Yeah,
he still does have Agina left, but not much else.
Yeah, not much else to do. I think prieR is heading towards Agina right now. May choose to take a look at Desert Ledge at that point. We'll get our first look at that, potentially. But not a lot in Eastern Palace. Did find Ether Medallion. Did find red mail, but not a lot on the path.
Meanwhile, Smirk is unfortunately getting blue-balled by Aga. Found, I think, 3 in the first round.
Yeah, and prieR did take a look at Desert Light. I didn't quite catch what was on it, unfortunately. About to go get his Bombos medallion. Just bombs. Our restreamer Ricky Kakiri letting us know that. So nothing to worry about on Desert Ledge. And if this is a forced Aghanim seed, this is a very long fight. It's going to be frustrating for both the runners to sit through all of this. Especially in Smirk's seat, where you know this might not have been required.
Mm-hmm. I lost count, but I think that was about 5 or so. Someone in chat, feel free to correct me.
Yeah, it felt like 5 or 6.
So with this early Dark World, we can dip into pod real quick. Oh, there's our hookshot. Never mind. We have a lot more Dark World suddenly.
Yeah, we got this hammer, we got this hookshot. We can get anywhere we want to in the main part of the Dark World now.
Spark is going to beeline it for Hype Cave instead.
Yeah, I don't know about
also
this
might
one.
stop by the bomb shop. Yeah, we'll get our crystal info.
Yeah, get crystal info. I think you're better off because we don't have a mirror yet. Charter Rock 1056s. And Misery Miner. So, no mitts for sure in the Pyramid Fairy.
And no Ice Rod either.
No mitts, no Ice Rod, no Flute. There's our first glove at Hype Cave.
And if you're a Smirk, you love seeing that there because you bailed
And
out
a mirror.
of Eastern.
Okay. All right. I did not like this route coming out of it because you can just loop around. It was, at the point, hard to get back to Western Dark World with what Smirk had, but Hype Cave reversed all of that. That was quite the cave. A mirror, a glove, another sword.
That was a great Hype Cave.
Yeah, that's a fantastic Hype Cave. I don't know about this 7 out of 10 out of chat. That was everything you could hope for out of Hype Cave, honestly.
I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It can always be better, but yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. K45 has absolutely nothing, as usual.
Yeah, so the nice thing about this mirror, since Smirk having beaten Aga, he can just save and quit after, again, he'll get stopped at Dig Game and go straight back using that hook shot across to West Dark World. Or he can mirror out and then go via Kakariko that way as well. Either way, I kind of like saving here because when you go from east to west, you can stop by Graveyard Ledge along the way and King's Tomb.
Catfish too. I think if you're a thorough player here, you do your save and quit, you get your Catfish, you get your King's Tomb, you get your Graveyard Ledge, and then head over. But got a Thieves Town big key at the Dig Game, and that's a pretty good sign to stay in this area. Smirk's gonna stick around, enter the Dark World through the Kakariko portal, and probably head directly to Thieves Town. There's a world where prieR gets done with this fight, gets a hook shot, and heads north. And it's a totally reasonable decision, and it's going to cost him several minutes.
Mm-hmm. He could also think go left towards Skull Woods as well, not worry about Thieves Town right away. Smirk could even do that as well.
Yeah, you probably want to hope for another small key, or a small key to Skull Woods before you hop in there. Don't necessarily need one, but it does make routing the dungeon a lot simpler. First pod small of the day. We are getting through his agony fight finally. There's that skull.
Oh, there's that skull.
So yeah, that's going to make Skullwood's riding super easy. I also like doing Thieves Town first into Skullwoods here because you can just continue on the north route. Do your Graveyard Ledge, do your King's Tomb, and then if you want to bomb jump over, or if you find the flippers, head on over to Catfish that way.
I think it's another Turok Small. Was that our third or fourth? I think I lost track of them.
Fourth one, I believe. Or no, that's our third.
Right.
And yeah, prieR is taking the north route and is going to be very late to all of this stuff. And it's totally understandable. You got a fire rod, got a sword, and you can hop into Skullwoods immediately.
Mm-hmm. Gonna look at bumper ledge here, just an arrow or 10. I didn't see the number, but no worries for that.
More arrows than we know what to do with right now because we don't have a bow.
Ice Small comes out in front of Thieves and some big money, but nothing too exciting.
Yeah, I think there was one other, the Turok Small key, and yeah, so not a lot in the front of Thieves Town, but we've got all our keys for this, so we're going to head to the back and full clear this bad boy.
Here's also going to be late to another sword, unless there happens to be one in here, but the one Smirk found in Hype Cave. That would certainly make Mothiel a little easier.
Yeah.
Smirk, or prieR's probably not too worried. He's got a hammer. And red mail. That should be fine enough.
Yeah, you certainly hope for more than just a fighter sword heading into that fight, but prieR not heading directly to the back is going to steal this small key.
No, this I don't like.
At all. I don't like this at all. Just kill your boss. And then come back later once you have a small key.
Oh, and he gets bailed out.
Of course, Skullwood small and Skullwoods. It's like the rule of pod smalls and pod. Smirk almost to the basement. Couple more checks here in Thieves Town.
Oh, there's our Quake medallion.
So no medallion hunts today. Which is good, because Key Sanity has plenty of other hunts for us. Shovel in the main chest in Thieves Town.
Okay, well this maiden is clearly not smart. That shovel was there the whole time. She could have dug her way out of the cell.
Yeah.
Clearly has never watched Prison Break, but neither have I either. And there's a also a map to Thieves Town in the Thieves Town big chest. We know we're getting a crystal here. The only thing ruder than that would be if it was on the boss, and then it's like, hey, here's a crystal that's coming your way.
Or a pendant.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's really bad.
So prieR chose not to finish Skullwoods, even with that small key that he got.
Yeah, I don't hate the decision. If you don't feel confident in the fight, there's no reason to spend time going back there when you have Thieves Town to do, which is a lot simpler. You got a bunch of safeties. Smirk having a little problem keeping on script here with Blind. Does finish the fight out, though, because Kane Berna is very good in this fight.
And gets our first crystal of the match.
I just realized that prieR does not have that big key from the dig game. So
that is going to be very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, this route, Smirk has hit the route so far. And, like, I don't have anything bad to say about the decision-making the prieR did. Like,
no, it was all perfectly valid. I mean, rando be rando sometimes.
Yeah, it was basically a coin flip, and Smirk's coin turned up way better. Still a lot of time, though. Bonk Rocks have a Palace of Darkness map. We'll find out the boss of that dungeon, or in the prize of that dungeon.
We're getting his second skull with small. I've got to be wondering if he's had some doubts about leaving, but we will see. Logically, you do need all 3 skull with small keys for Mothula to be in logic, but prieR might not be worried about that. I didn't even realize we had a 1 dig game today. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, just 1 dig. How it
1 and done. Love it.
Nothing on the North Darkbolt route so far. Smirk choosing these over Skullwoods. Might double back instead of going on to Catfish. We got Pyramid access, so Catfish isn't so hard to get to. And I don't know how Smirk feels about doing that bomb jump. Nothing in these boots checks.
Are finally making his way over to Hype Cave. He'll get the very nice bounty of sword and other various things that I can't remember already. Mirror
sword,
being one
glove,
of them. And glove.
Mirror.
Yeah.
Back of escape for Smirk. Giving up on that portal.
It was a GT small that was back here. Okay.
Yeah.
The 2 GT smalls is pretty much good enough for almost anybody to full clear GT when you're looking for the big key. You'll certainly take a 3rd if you want it for extra, but as long as you're not too negligent with your key use, you should be fine with just 2.
Yeah, you'll skip the door in between the left and the right side, and you'll skip the door, the full right door, and everything else should be doable with 2 keys.
We're going to give us our first trip up the mountain. With that mirror, hammer, and hookshot, we can full clear it. In the light world, at least.
I believe Smirk has a Hera map. Or no, prieR has the Hera map, so Smirk doesn't know what the prize is up here yet. But Tower Hera, not in logic, but clearable with his hookshot. And just a ton of items up here between Paradox Cave. Our old man check giving us the 3rd Skullwood small.
Yeah, Mothula is looming. But Smirk unaware that the 3rd key is just hiding in Skullwoods.
I think the only time you care if you found all 3 Skullwood smalls if there's an item that drops off Mothula and you're trying to figure out if some checks are not valid.
That's fair. Other time being if you don't know what Skullwoods is and you haven't checked it at all and you just happen to come across 3 small keys and you have a fire rod in your pocket, it's like, well, maybe I would just want to beat the dungeon anyway.
Right.
That'd be the only other time. Same thing goes for like Mire when you have all those small keys.
Early Spike Cave check from Smirk. I like this. You use up your magic here and then go refill yourself an Hera. Only problem is this save and quit's going to take him back to the pyramid.
Back to the pyramid, yeah. Smirk looks like he's okay with that. He does have 2 pod smalls. You could see for an early pod trip.
Yeah, with the thoroughness here, could also head up to Catfish, or could run things right over to Skull Woods. But we'll see.
Oh, but he does get more Zora money, so maybe that's what he's thinking. Like, check the 2 fish.
Oh, yeah. Would set up a Ancilla fake flipper if he knows how, but and check waterfall cave, or not waterfall cave. Yeah, waterfall cave. We got the moon pearl now, but don't necessarily see that coming out of Smirk.
Not the easiest, but possible with bombs in Samaria.
Yeah. Meanwhile, prieR taking this Thieves Town big key is going to finish up Thieves Town, get caught back up at a crystal. Catfish giving us our heart, a piece of his heart, and
oh, Smirk,
that
not wanting to get scammed today. It seems
that was an interesting decision. Rushing back up the mountain.
Yeah,
Smirk didn't
going over to the Catfish, and then I'm not
didn't even
sure.
look at the ledge either. So Smirk doesn't know anything in that Zora area.
They should know that it's in logic with a glove now, but that's all right. We got 7 items in Paradox. We don't need the Scamfish at all.
Odd small, that's 3 now.
I'd be wondering where our bow is. And there are 2 of them in this mode.
Desert map, another nice to find. Our first, each of our runners have 1 Misery Mire small key. 1 is very good for routing.
No problem, my prieR on blind. We'll get his first crystal of the match.
Bombs on Floating Island, don't care about those. And Smirk is going to head over to Tower Hera.
And where are we going, prieR? We're going back to Skullwoods. Okay. Oh, there is our bow, speaking of.
Sitting up nice and pretty in the basement of Tower Hera. So that is a lot of checks in Palace of Darkness. No big key yet, so we can't complete that dungeon. There's our flute, too, so Hera is just loaded. We have 2 in logic checks, and they're both very good.
We're going to head straight for the back for Mothula.
Yeah, I already cleared out the front. Probably, although not feeling too great about being very late to those hype cave items, going to feel good about waiting in this area. Getting that Master Sword. And the extra keys turn on to deal with the Gibdo as well. Oh, Smirk having a little problems there with Moldorm getting knocked into the corner and off. Start that fight.
Moldorm strikes again.
Very clean Mothula for prieR. Gets the... Oh my. And a crystal. So, yeah. 3 Skull with small keys and a fire rod and a couple swords, you probably would have headed in that direction, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, that is in logic between our two runners having all three small keys. Shoulder rears its ugly head again.
Yeah, Smirk is feeling the pressure of this fight a little bit.
priER, he's definitely going to want to head up the mountain and grab that flute.
Yep.
That way he can get a peek into Meyer and, well, he can and Turtle as well with those mitts now.
Third try is the first try for Smirk. Rewarded with a piece of heart out of logic and a pendant out of logic. It's got to feel real bad.
It's not the worst feeling. Yeah, you kind of waste a little time with shoulder knocking you down, but you know info now. There is some power to knowing that you have a pendant and something else can't be a pendant.
prieR. Mir's going to do these North Dark checks. Pyro Cave is nothing, and I think that just leaves Skull Woods for Smirk.
Well, he did just get the bow as well, so he could try
yeah.
pod.
Yeah, could put some time in a pod. This looks like a Skull Woods play though, starting from Sanctuary. And of the choices of pod I can't beat or Skull Woods I can full clear.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Turn this flute in first, of course.
Naturally. Smirk? There we go. Oh, he wants to check out Shovel. I probably would have activated the flute first. That way you can at least head back real quick.
Yeah, flute to 4, do your shovel, then flute back to 3.
Nice swag item dash there.
Absolutely. Just a piece of heart for the troubles, and now you got this flute that is inactivated and you get to run all the way back. prieR heading up the mountain. It's gonna get that bounty of items in Hera. Smirk singing the song of our people. See if prieR wants to do Spike Cave right away. Does not.
Yeah, prieR might be thinking, if I do Spike Cave now, I'll have to come back up the mountain anyway, so...
Yep. Directly into Hera, we'll pick up that bow, we'll pick up that flute. We'll pick up that pendant.
Curious actually if you... I don't think you bail here, but... it is an option, since it's not having the big key. None of this being in logic. And prieR does have the map here, so he knows it's a pendant, actually.
Yeah, he might not do the boss. Or might... There's the third Skullwood Small for Smirk. No. He is going to continue on to Moldorm. At least get the item. And once you're here, there's no reason to not grab the pendant.
Yeah, it's fast enough that I don't mind not skipping it.
You know, Let's see if this fight goes better for prieR than it does for smerc. prieR doing a very good job of mixing in sword spins along with those hammer hits.
And while our runners are doing the checks that the other one has already done, be sure to give them each a follow. smercjd and prieR57, both amazing runners, both great competitors. Be sure to check out their streams.
Absolutely, give them a follow when we get done with this race. So we got mitts, we've got a flute, we've got all our medallions. Misery Mire's got to be next, right?
I'm actually thinking Turtle Rock. prieR's got that big key. You can full clear it minus the boss if you were to skip Lava Chest.
Yeah, definitely what's next for prieR. I think smerc is probably more incentivized to check out Misery Mire first, since didn't come to the mountain with those mitts.
Although we do have the Mire big, so yeah, you could do Mire as well. You're seeing that you can clear that as well.
Yeah, I'm sure prieR's going to take a look at at least the checks in Dark Death Mountain, having hookshot, get all 6 of them. Would not blame him for doing a dip of Turtle Rock at this point, since all signs seems to point to something being there. Mitts for smerc, crystal for smerc, and basically at this point, our 2 runners have kind of replicated each other's footsteps in different orders.
smerc yet to go into Eastern, however, so he doesn't know that Ether is there. So in case one of these places turns up to be Ether, he's going to be a little bit behind in that sense.
Yeah. We do find out that Palace of Darkness is a crystal.
And speaking of, Turtle Rock does require that Ether medallion.
Yeah, that's kind of awkward. Because you know smerc's going to be waiting for this Eastern Palace big key to show up before wanting to head over that direction. Got this bow already.
Didn't get a look at Mire there.
Looked like it was Bombos, but I'm not positive. That's our 4th pod small.
smerc can also do a quick desert dip if you wanted to choose.
Yeah, it does have that desert map, so take a look. Hera small in Hookshot Cave. It is Bombos. So full clearable Misery Mire. 2 checks not in logic, but don't really care about that. And prieR is Dawn on the mountain. I suspect this to be a Misery Mire play as well. No, actually, interesting.
Has he turned on his flute yet?
He has not, so he's got to go turn that flute on first.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Getting out of Hyrule Castle, go turn that flute.
Desert is a crystal.
So one of Swamp or Eastern Palace is our last pendant. Half magic in those 3 key lock chests on the left-hand side.
Nice find.
Yeah, very nice to have, not required. We'll make this fight very, very trivial. Will also certainly help out with the Trinix fight if we don't find another sword before we find the Size Rod.
No need to peek that prior. You have all the medallions.
Yeah, you got it all. You got everything. So right now we are potentially looking at... We know we absolutely need an Ice Rod. We know we absolutely need that Pod Big Key. Don't really want that Swamp Big Key, but there it is.
Yeah, it's going to depend on if Eastern's a pendant, then we'll need the Swamp Small Key. If Swamp's the pendant, we need the Eastern Big Key.
Yeah. We'd also need the Desert Big Key for sure. And Smirk needs to get to Eastern Palace and get that Ether Medallion.
Possibly the flippers as well.
Yeah, if Swamp's required, we'll need those flippers. If it's not, we can fake flip our way into Ice. Don't need to worry about that. Ice is a pendant anyway, so who cares? Except that there's always something in Ice Palace. Mark has a hook shot. Could have just checked this later. Maybe that's just one of those corner cases or routing that people don't think about a lot. If they don't play a lot of Key Sanity, you can just hook shot over to that chest on the way in, to the boss.
Yeah. Routing Mire, it feels like it's mostly muscle memory for some people, myself included.
So we've seen a Swamp Big. We've seen Half Magic. We've not seen much else here in Misery Mire. But we will see a Vitreous shortly for both these runners.
Yeah, very near sync. You can basically call it a high five at some point.
We're switching to the cape, so we're going to be using cape spam to get through Vitreous. Half Magic should be very free phase 1.
And plenty of errors to finish off the big eyeball as well.
Yeah. I think with Cape and Half Magic, you have time to just do spins. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, spins will definitely do a lot more damage compared to slashes with the Master Sword.
Yeah, single Master Sword slashes versus 2 Tempered Sword hits with every spin. And then 8 in the eye.
And how rude of you, Vitreous.
Yeah, no chance of getting silver arrows before this fight. Prior showing off the hook over, grab that chest, and then just stuff. Probably dash down first and then fall, but that's even more esoteric corner case stuff.
So Smirk's gonna mirror over here and probably take a peek into Desert. Can't actually clear it yet. We're missing both the small and the big key.
Also didn't look great at the ledge earlier. So running down, grab some bombs. No chance you steal the small key here. You know it's a crystal. You want to give yourself the chance to finish the dungeon with just the big key.
All right, with the nice spooky action glitch, setting up that quick Meyer basement routing.
Yeah, really well done. Torch item number, or bonk item number 3, just the gloves, these boots. Never going to complain about having early boots, but haven't really paid off in terms of items yet.
Merc finds bottle number 4 in desert, but nothing else. The seed was very front-loaded with safety items, only missing powder at this point.
Yep. And prior with those spins, clearing out the little eyeballs, 8 and 9. And we'll also pick up silver arrows. And crystal number 3. It's looking like pick your poison between a turtle rock you can't clear with that nice run. Smirk doesn't have the turtle rock big key yet, so that's less of an option, but it is still heading up this direction to do those Dark Death Mountain checks. A pod you can't clear without a big key. And those are really the only 2 options in play for our runners right now. Smirk also has Eastern to go through. So it kind of makes this even a weirder decision.
Yeah. We've got 1 check in... No, we don't even have flippers. We can't even do 1 check in Swamp. Never mind.
Nope.
We can fake flipper to Ice Palace if we wanted to.
Yeah, I don't think either of our runners want to do that, considering Swamp may be a pendant, and those flippers may just be in GT. Considering the only thing we've found behind the slippers so far is a Hyrule Castle small key, which locked nothing.
Oh, and Smirk's going to get the unfortunate news that Turtle Rock is locked by Ether.
Yeah, so can't even enter Turtle Rock here. It's going to head over to Eastern Pod after this, almost certainly. And that's where prieR's headed to.
Smirk looking like he wants to play Smith Chain instead.
Yep. Just really wanting to avoid going to Eastern Pod without one of those 2 big keys.
Can't say I blame him. Although with 4 pod smalls, it's looking very tasty.
Yeah, it is. Alright, check 1 in Palace of Darkness. Just a compass. Probably going to save one of those keys in the front by doing the full loop around.
Big key on hammer pegs. It is.
That's a good one.
That is huge for Smirk.
Oh, that's a real good find for Smirk. Nothing in the Bowlock side. I think at this point you just don't even bother. I guess you can flute purple chest down.
You can flute for purple, yeah. If you're in the area, might as well. If you don't, I can understand skipping it as well.
Really?
Now this is unexpected. Smirk wants to get that other waterfall chest. And he did also skip Zora when he could have done it with Catfish.
Yeah, this is... I feel like this is unnecessarily thorough. Maybe he's just worried that his opponent could have found this item, which just happens to be bombs, unfortunately. I don't know. We'll have to talk to Smirk about that after the race. I think that's...
Yeah, without flippers, I'm not really worried about those checks.
No.
Outside of the early game, like maybe you do it fast with boots, but yeah. Afterwards, you're just not even thinking about it until you hit flippers. Scamfish has a $500 bug net today. Mark saying, thanks, but no thanks. I'm running away.
And now you're walking this out? Are you fluting back to your portal to go get the purple chest? Are you going to Ice Palace? Going to Under the Bridge. No, going to Ice Palace. I don't know about this.
Thought he did Man Under the Bridge as well, but I'm not certain.
No, he did.
This is an interesting play, though. Like, you're getting that pod big key. I would have naturally expected him to go straight to pod.
Powder in the Dark Looping pod?
Yeah, I suppose Chet makes a good point. If you wanted to turn in the green pendant with pod, sure, but
I just don't ever want to turn.
Not having flippers, like none of this is in logic. So
no.
I mean, Smirk needs something huge to come up here, which I'm not even sure what can at this. I guess the ice rod would be.
Yeah, ice rod is the only thing.
He is still looking for ether as well.
Swamp Small could be in here with Easter being our other pendant.
Yeah, it didn't look like anything of powder in pod, but nothing else really.
No, just powder, which will add another check once prieR gets to do those Smith chain checks, and that might be where we're headed right now. No, we're gonna head up to Turtle Rock.
Now, Smirk did get another pod small in here, which, if that doesn't scream go to pod, I don't know what does.
Tell us that flippers will not be in a few locations. There's the last small key to pod.
There's the last one.
So flippers are gonna be in not a lot of places in pod that we haven't already looked.
At this point, I feel like they are probably on Laser Bridge or something.
Probably. That's my sense as well. It's just a hard sell for me to do sequence broken green pendant ice palace over a pod you can full clear. And with 4 keys, and you can loop around and just full clear it.
prieR giving us our first look into Turtle Rock. With 3 small keys and the big key, if we were to skip Lava Chest and steal that Pokey key, we can beat the boss. Oh, get to the boss. We can't beat it yet without a ice rod, of course. But does find a Swamp Small.
Yeah, that's bad news for Smirk. Like the 50-50 chance that Swamp is required. And we're very likely to find our flippers in here too, so... just kind of everything along the path.
Yeah, at this point, prieR would love to find either an eastern map or a swamp map, and that'll give us our last bit of info.
Absolutely. Smirk, I think, needs Ice Rod right here. Or on the green pen to turn in.
Did prieR get the other, like, small key lock chest, like vanilla big key chest and Harmless Elway?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think he had one left and he skipped the front. So I'm not sure if he actually even went and got, like, Salvo chest. Nothing but green pendant. And a couple pod small keys that are logically required for Ice Palace.
Right. So, like, if something is in those two pod chests, that could be big for Smirk. Or the green pendant, of course.
Yeah. Go to pod. Go to pod. Just go to pod. Alright, I'm going to pod.
Sir, do you have a minute to talk about pod?
The Church of Latter-day
here's this brochure.
Alright, green pendant, lock behind, flippers, lock behind, not necessarily one more Ice Palace. Oh, it is walk for one Ice Palace small key. Just some firewood.
Yeah, he had one ice small and hookshot in Samaria, so didn't really need that small key.
Right. I think the theme of both these tournaments so far has been mental damage. I remember ALttPR bringing that up in commentary a couple weeks ago. Smirk's got to be feeling a lot of that mental damage right now. There's the flippers.
There is.
Turtle Big Chest. Now, Turtle Big Key was in Eastern Palace too, correct?
I believe so. It would make sense as to why Smirk doesn't have it, because I believe that's the only thing he hasn't done that prieR has.
Yep. Ice Palace map. Don't care about that.
Shoutouts to Adler for tracking for us, reminding us that yes, the Terra-Big Key was in Eastern, the first chest.
Shoutouts to our trackers, all the volunteers that have helped out in various races. Can't do this job without trackers, for sure. I am too focused at certain points and certain things to know where everything's at. There's that desert small key.
And that desert small is in logic, I believe, right? You can get to Laser Bridge with 3, but you can't beat the boss unless you have a 4.
Correct.
All right.
So Desert Palace small can lock, Nice Rod can lock, our last Turtle Rock small. And prieR's going to play my favorite game, which is Save the Portal. But you can't save the portal if your first stop is immediately Swamp Palace.
Yeah. I mean, I do like this play, though. He did get that Swamp Small. He got the flippers. I mean, it seems only natural.
Yeah. I think I would have... I guess you can't save the portal going to desert either. We don't have a book. So I think either of those two plays is very reasonable. We're going to be able to save that portal, though. Chat bringing up we brought Pete Aghanim and we have a mirror, so we can't save the portal anyways.
True.
Oh, we can. You just have to die in the light world.
Oh, there's our eastern map. That will give us our last bit of info.
I would have just mirrored out and taken a look at the map before coming back in here.
Or coming back in here, yeah. Because you know that you either have beat that dungeon or beat this dungeon, or you might have to do both anyway.
Nice little swag item dash.
A big moment of truth here in the pod big chest, just a piece of heart.
One more moment of truth is going to be sitting on Helmosaur King.
On prieR side, we still need the desert big. He's still looking for that pod big. And of course the ice rod. He may even still need the eastern big if he doesn't check that map.
Yeah. And then 2 items in Eastern that Smirk's looking for, that Ether Medallion and the Turok Big Key. And also needs that Desert Big and potentially an Eastern Big as well.
Nice that both Turtle Rock and entry keys, so to speak, are in one dungeon. So it's like, hey, go to Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
Only the ice rod was there too.
There are only so many keys we can put under one doormat. And hey, Ice Rod still could be an Eastern. We have 2 checks in.
Yep.
Nice dive down from prieR.
$17 hammer hits to Helmosaur. 1 silver arrow to the face eventually once he stops. There he goes, finally.
Spends some time at the archery game. Nothing in Left Side Swamp for prieR.
Book shows up on Helmosaur.
That opens up a couple checks.
Yeah, so Smirk needs to mirror here to get his Turok starter pack. Looks like that's what he's going to do, and hopefully it doesn't flute away. Alright.
So this will be a Turok Big Key and Ether for Smirk. Block barely close enough to clip through. It's our 4th Turtle small key. Lava chest is now in play. So Swamp Small in Turtle Rock to go get your last Turtle Rock Small in Swamp Palace.
You just love the logical double dips.
This video game sometimes. There's Ether's first 2 checks. Try and grab 2 puffs at a time and kill him with a spin. Phase 1 down for prieR. Archery test has been passed.
And Argus with a big key to desert. Oh my.
And it's
and
a
the
crystal.
crystal.
So we are an ice rod away and a pod big away from prieR being in go mode.
By process of elimination, Eastern is going to be our last pendant.
Yep. And off to desert. Almost certain at this point. We are very much in the time to clear some dungeons plan. And that map check gives prieR full dungeon information. And Smirk gonna finish out Smith Chain with a purple chest turn in now. First fresh check in desert, just 50 rupees. Second fresh check, just a heart piece.
Oh, there is that ice rod.
That's a bad look. Just 10 arrows in purple chest.
This is not great for Smirk.
No, at this point, can't be anything on tablet other than maybe a sword. But
Smirk has until prieR. Trying to think even where that pod big was.
Hammer pegs. prieR's got to go
Hammer
back
pegs,
and
right?
hammer
Yeah.
pegs to go into go mode here. See a powder check as well.
Yeah, Smirk really needs to dip that Turok first, get that Swamp Small, get that Desert Small in there. There's just a lot of barriers right now for Smirk.
Yeah, Turok blocking all of the rest of the seed. There is another big key for Eastern Palace. Don't care about that one. Does give prieR a couple other options to make the wrong decision.
Yeah, he still has a full Ice Palace, fully in logic. I mean, it's got both smalls, all the items you could ever want for it. The other two checks in Eastern.
I'm gonna finish up Turok first, so this makes sense. You have to do this. It opens up Pyramid Fairy as well, which is a totally reasonable place for this pod big key to be.
You're kind of wanting prieR to be there because you can just take that big key and go straight on to pod.
Smirk's gonna check the Ether Talent. Yeah, this book doesn't have the Harris Small yet.
I think he did get that Harris Small.
I think he did that small. One quantity, one arrow. If he was going to get baited into checking Hera, that Deadrock's giving him another idea.
Deadrock with the good message, like, don't do it.
Good guy, Deadrock. Let's get him in a hat.
Yeah, we always hate on the Deadrocks for blocking our way, but sometimes, for the better. prior can also check lava chest while he's here.
Yeah. Good place for a sword, I think. Unfortunate how these items have laid out in the last couple of dungeons, because you'd like to do desert first and get go mode there, but that desert big is in Swamp Palace, so you're gonna have to go there first, even though you don't really want to full clear that dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Or could save a little bit of time if he chooses not to do left side swamp. Nothing over there.
It makes a lot more sense. Oh, I guess no. Smirk's gonna still be looking for 2 items. Be looking for the Desert Palace big key along with the ice rod going into swamp. So he'll be looking for 2 items out of that dungeon.
Yeah, I don't believe. Yeah, there's the swamp small for Smirk. So that might be his inclination to go next.
Only these flippers, which are coming up soon.
Yeah, in that TR big chest. I think Smirk is down to the 50-50 as well between Eastern and Swamp. That Eastern map was in Swamp Palace.
Oh no, the swamp map was in ice palace, so Smirk knows that swamp is the last crystal.
All right, very good.
What is
now this? Did he mean to mirror there?
Go back, please. You need those flippers.
Yeah, that looked like
he got the swamp small. I think he went to leave and then realized didn't have flippers.
Hmm.
More of that mental damage checking in. Trinix.
Master Sword Trinix, or rather, screw the Master Sword, we have a hammer.
For one of the heads at least, we're gonna hammer down, and then we're just gonna half magic. We can just beat the crap out of the other one with sword, fire rod shots. Guess you switch over to hammer 2. Just throw.
That ice head tends to be very not friendly and just kind of bob and weave his way around your fire rod shots.
Yeah.
Smirk rightly stealing the pokey key.
Yeah.
I remember a race between him and I. It was also key sanity, and I believe he mistakenly used that key there, which made him hunt for an extra key for go mode.
Yeah, you bump that door once, and then you bump it again because you have muscle memory issues. And then, like, after the 6th or 7th time you accidentally open that door, you finally remember to not open it every time.
Prior Herald, I'm gonna make the Pyramid Fairy play.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see where it goes after this. Whether it be an Ice Palace dip, finish up Eastern dip, or what we know the correct answer is heading over to Village Outcasts. Ice is the most dense location. Probably 9 items with a green pendant. Probably where prior ends up going next.
Smirk finding those flippers, probably not too happy to find them.
Yeah. Well, he knows. Well, no, he knows Swamp is a crystal, so unhappy in that it's taken so long to find them, but certainly glad to have them.
Fair. And that is not the big key that prieR wanted to see.
Oh, you load up a dialogue, and you see a big key, and you're like, oh, I did it. I solved the seed. And then you did not, in fact, solve the seed.
I think what's worse is finding those big keys in GT. It's like, yay, early GT big key. No, it was a debate big key.
We won't have any of that today. We found all of our big keys. Yeah, Skullwood's big key might be good. It gives another reason to head over to Village Outcast area. But I think that the other areas are still just so heavy in items. Ice Palace has 8 items, plus the green pendant, which kind of wants to push you over to Eastern, because then you get to tie that check in with those 2 checks in Eastern Palace. And then you have all your pendants, you just do the Village Outcast area last. This would be the Zora check on the other side of Waterfall Ferry, which I'm sure has been on his mind for quite some time, just to find out some bombs.
I just like that both our runners got piece of hearted there at the same time. It was just like, can't get the other check there.
So, if you look at how to like tie all these checks together and the best route logically, prieR might be very late to that House of Darkness big key. But you get to make decisions. That's what this game is. Sometimes you just decide to do something else other than what necessarily might be the most logical play because it's something you think your opponent has done. Things of that nature. So we'll see what happens here. You're going to save and quit. We'll find out where prieR's heading next.
We are fluting to 8. We're getting an ice dip here.
Yeah. This is totally the best play from prieR's seat in terms of item density. We'll find those 2 other pod small keys, but not much else. Well,
which when you find the other 2 pod smalls, you're thinking, oh, it must be a pod big and pod, of course, because haha, funny game.
Yeah. Smirk now starting his trip into Swamp Palace. And needing 2 items still, it'd be interesting to see if Smirk decides to skip left side swamp. I could see going to the back immediately, and then making a decision after that, after beating the boss. And from that point, took it down to 1. One item left. We'll find the Desert Palace big key.
Yeah, I like that routing a lot of times. Because then you can just decide, like, okay, snap judgment, go back in and not. Once he finds the desert big, though, I'm hesitant if he goes back in, unless he always does left side swamp. I'm not sure.
Right. This is going to be a left side play. So no chance to pick up a little bit of extra time here. Nice, nice bomb jump by prieR, left to right from the freezer room.
Bomb jump always scares me. Like I'm too afraid to even try it.
Yeah,
I'd rather take the slower, safe way.
It's a bomb jump that's a little bit harder. The right left one is very free, but the left right one's a little bit harder. And if you miss it, you're having a hard time routing this dungeon.
So if you're prieR, you've obviously got smercjd, which is what he needs to be doing. But he's also got, I think, the rest of pod, probably like 1 or 2 items left there.
Yeah, you get the rest of pod. You have 2 items in Eastern. You have green pennant.
And
it really lines
believe
up
he's
well.
done Spike Cave or obviously Hammer Basement.
Yeah, haven't done Hammer Basement or Spike Cave. That's probably 4th on the list. I find it hard to see prieR doing Smith Chain over all the stuff in the Eastern Palace area, because then you just get you get pedestal as well. Like, the whole thing lines up really well in terms of how this route goes for prieR. It's unfortunate that what he's looking for isn't lining up with how the route lines up.
Hilariously, we don't even have the hair big key to put pedestal in Logic.
Nope. And I hope that prieR recognize that. But we're over to pod. We're gonna check out the rest of these chests. We got all 6 small keys, like you said earlier, sniffing out that this could be a pod pig at vanilla location or in harmless hallway.
Oh, obviously, we do turn it into green pennant first.
Yeah.
Smirk, you don't have a lot of magic for those fire rod shots. Nails the silver arrow though. It's that desert big.
Yeah. So I think at this point, Smirk is looking pretty good. prieR's made these choices that he's made. Smirk's got a reason now to head directly over to the desert, get that ice rod and go mode.
Yeah, prieR's made all the same choices that Smirk did, just unfortunately hasn't obviously that one crucial check. But he's making like reasonable plays. Like you're in the area, you do these checks, you're getting like keys that point you in certain directions. So I can't say I blame prieR for these choices.
Yeah, no, this is completely reasonable routing from his seat. I think the big difference is that Smirk didn't have those mitts going up the mountain the first time. Didn't have the option of doing those extra checks up there. So when he did get the mitts in off the Mothla fight, had more of a reason to do the Smith check than because kind of just want to get those checks done, get them all out of the way, and then head up the mountain, so you're not having to double dip an area too much. Just had a little bit more incentive to make that out of the way check.
So Smirk's going to do back to front desert here. Not bad when you're looking for one item, of course, in go mode. Could just be on land mode.
Right. And you have to beat land mode anyways, so no reason not to do this first. Just remember to grab all your keys as you're going through here, even though you got that one extra.
Yeah, certainly don't want to accidentally use a key and not pick up the replacement. We got to look at Armus though. Maybe he's
Okay.
got a sword for us.
Sorry, I'm gonna jump in here real fast. The remote I'm using to run this thing is crashing on me, so I'm going to be switching remotes. And so give me one moment. The stream's going to go offline for just a second.
All right. Let us know when we're back, Ricky. I don't think found the hair big key. Still going to take a look at pedestal.